Yo, 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 yo.
Messing up right now. There we go. I got my boy Dante right here. We're gonna do a deep dive on the upcoming NFL draft. I mean, I'm not big on the draft. I don't do like the prospect situation. I'm just a podcaster, but Dante can go into way more depth than me. That's why I brought him on here today, so we can kind of, you know, have some ideas of what the draft should look like. So what's going on, Dante? How you doing today, man?
Good, man. It's been a hell of a weekend for me, bro. So, it's like football stuff, it just never stops. I was just in New York doing the Elite 11, uh, taking some doing some videography and some photos for all the best quarterbacks in the region in high school. So you know how I do, man. I started in the
Yeah,
high school ranks, so it's kind of cool to see those guys spinning and be on the field with some of those guys. I've been getting like DMs like crazy. Hey, can you send me videos and photos of me? I'm like, y'all realize I took like 3,000-4,000 photos yesterday, so y'all gotta give me some time. But yeah, man. And then my buddy just had his baby shower today, so it's like it's just been wild. I feel like I've just been in the car for like 16 hours.
damn.
So
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's crazy sometimes. Like when you try to do the football stuff and then life comes around, it's like trying to juggle it. I was dealing with that like the past couple of weeks, man. I had to take a break and just be like, all right, let me sit back, man, and
Yeah.
regroup and come back and do it, full on. But yeah, a lot of you guys don't know who's watching right now. Me and Dante, I reached out to him about a month ago, if not longer, because we wanted to do an NFL mock draft where we had different content creators from different teams draft for their respective team. But somebody took the idea. I'm not saying they took it from me, but they did it, and I kind of felt it wasn't best that we try to do that right now because somebody else already did it. It wasn't going to be as the shock value, So,
Yeah,
so
and then a lot of people flake in this community, bro. Let's just call it what it is.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they, they
So
flake.
yeah, so I was like, man, somebody else did it. I take it on the chin. I take it on the chin. But so let's just get into the draft situation. Like, so Dante, the overall team building landscape, like, just give me an explanation of how teams actually like do that. With like going into the draft, like the war room situation. Talking to scouts, talking to guys like you, talking to just different people.
Yeah.
Like, how does that normally go?
So I got a little bit of insight on this because I think it was 2 years ago now. I went through the scouting academy for the NFL. So I got to meet like, the who's like James Gladstone, for example, who's now the GM for the Jaguars, and um, you know, Lewis Reddick and a bunch of other guys that do courses or come in and talk to us or just show us the in and outs. And I mean, it's as simple as let's put all the team needs up there. Let's see where our draft position is most importantly and where a lot of these guys are projected to fall. So believe it or not, a lot of these guys, a lot of these GMs, a lot of these scouts, they use mock draft simulators just like us.
Yeah, right.
Probably even more than we do.
Yeah,
I mean, I think James Gladstone said like when he was with what team was he with previous? The Rams. When he was with the Rams, he said they went through thousands of mock draft simulators like weekly. And
yeah,
so just to see how everything had fell in place week by week by week. Because as you know, like at the beginning of the season last year, Anthony Hill Jr. was one of the top prospects, like in the top 5 at linebackers, and now he's like
yeah.
not even being projected in the first round anymore. Like he's like a fringe first rounder at this point in time. So it just shows you like even though he has an amazing season for the times that he was in there, like his stats say that he was one of the best guys. But I think honestly it starts there from the team building aspect. Like everybody's got their charts. The funny thing is what I tell people, the people that don't know this, it kind of shocks them. So there's like anywhere between 8 to 15 scouts on the team. And these guys go out and they get a handful of names, and let's say, you know, you're going to go and scout all the quarterbacks that are eligible for the draft. They're going to ask you questions like, how's his family life? What city did he grow up in? How's the neighborhoods of where he grew up at? Like, what type of cars does this dude like?
Yeah.
Like they get that crazy about just the whole draft process. And you're like, okay, well, what about the play on the field? But what people don't know, simply being said, is like, you got to think about the NFL is a business and an entertainment industry
Exactly.
at the end of the day. So for us to go in and say they're going to pick the best player available, well, the two best players in this draft are Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Love, and not everybody's going to get them.
Yeah.
But there might be a team that might not like the way that Jeremiah Love is and doesn't feel like he fits their market.
Right.
Like Jeremiah Love going to New York is not going to be the sexiest thing for a New York team because he's not the guy that's the rah guy. Like he's, for all accounts, I think the dude is on the spectrum. I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I think he has some type of autism. Like if you've ever seen him talk or like his mannerisms, you think that's going to jive in New York where people are, if you have a bad game, that they're going to be pretty much throwing the beers at you?
Yeah, that New York media. That's the reason why Marshawn Lynch changed his whole tune with Buffalo. Like basically on the bus. That's why he was like that, because of that New York media. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so that also is a piece of the pie that goes into building your team. And then, like in my mock draft for the Vikings that I put out, I drafted a left tackle in I think the 3rd round, and a lot of people are like, "We're not going to do that." Where I'm like,
"No,
you got to go in and think about the fact that Christian Darrisaw has not been the healthiest, and are you really going to? What does your future look like with Brian O'Neill? The best spot to do it is to go with the cheapest guy, which is going to be a rookie that you can develop and hope that he turns into how good one of those two guys are. And it's a win-win scenario at the end of the day, because if you go to week 6 and Christian Darrisaw goes down, I'm the type of dude, I don't wish injuries on anybody. I'm just saying, based off of his history of playing, he has not been the healthiest. So it's realistically, you're going to think about the fact that if he goes down in week 6, we got a rookie now that we drafted when everybody thought it was a terrible idea.
Yeah,
but now we can see what it looks like. Yeah,
it's the insurance policy, because like I like Darrisaw, but like I have a debate, with other Viking fans out there, and they're like, "Yeah, Darrisaw is great. He's a Pro Bowler." I was like, first off, he's never made a Pro Bowl yet. He's never made an All Pro because he's always hurt, and it's consistent every year. Like Brian O'Neill is at the end of his career. He only has like 1 or 2 years left, so it's best if you get a tackle in, like you said, 3rd round that can come in here and basically build under these guys. And then if something happens, you got that insurance. You don't have to go out a guy like Justin School like we did last year when those 2 guys got hurt. You got a rookie that can come in here and actually can play. But the thing that we got to consider too is Kevin O'Connell and his coaching staff ready to do that, because they're in win now mode, because the seat is kind of hot for them, and they don't really play rookies like that unless they actually have to. But that's
correct me if I'm wrong, KOC is going to be playing double time. He's playing Jerry Jones this year because Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is not there.
Yeah, man.
So now you just made your job harder. Like, you're already questioning the fact that the dude hasn't been a great coach at this point in time, and now you're going to be playing GM on top of that. Like, that's like asking a dude in your department that has all the skill in the world to be a great worker for the company that you're at, but he constantly shows up late. He doesn't do his side of the job. He takes an hour and 15-minute lunch instead of an hour lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's KOC in a nutshell. Like, now you're going to be putting more like your boss just gave him more responsibility. It's like, come on, bro.
I'm not with it at all. Like you already know, like I was a big Kwesi guy. I think they kind of did him dirty. Kevin O'Connell didn't really.
I think he was going like this. I look at Kwesi's situation just like when you remember when John Gruden and what's his name, Mike Mayock were together.
Yeah,
and Mike Mayock drafted Max Crosby, and he had some misses here and there.
That's gonna happen. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you don't find a Eastern Michigan type talent that you picked. I think he was like a 5th rounder. And he turns out to be one of the best edge rushers. I mean, you saw the whole debacle that happened this offseason with Max Crosby. Like, none of that happens unless you're a top tier guy. And I kind of look at y'all's situation kind of the same way. It's like, who's really playing the hero in this situation? And of course, in that situation, it was John Gruden all day. You could tell he had his fingers on everybody, but Mike Mayock was the fall guy because he was the new GM.
Yep.
But how much responsibility did you really give that guy to go out and be a GM? I kind of felt the same way with Kwesi. It's like when things started working and he starts drafting people and he starts taking a chance on people and they ended up being pretty good, and you're trading for the Byron Murphys of the world, like you're seeing kind of the turn and what's happening, and then it's just like it's not happening fast enough. Kwesi, you got to go, and then
Yeah,
it's like, well, what about our damn coach?
it was more so how I looked at it with the Quasi situation is the Vikings panicked. They panicked because they saw Sam Darnold have success immediately after leaving Minnesota. They saw Daniel Jones have success, and I always said Daniel Jones, like, he never played for us. He was a damn practice squad guy the majority of the time, and he only got on the regular squad so we can get the compensatory pick during the playoffs. That's all it was. So I wasn't necessarily like tied to Daniel Jones, but the Sam Darnold thing I got, the McCarthy thing, I understood it. It was just the fact, like, Kevin O'Connell never really, like, he was brought in here to do a job. He was brought in here to do something that Mike Zimmer couldn't. What's identify, develop the quarterback for the future. And they went out there and got McCarthy. Now the book is still out on McCarthy. Like, he had a horrible season, riddled with injuries. That's all. But paired with Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl, they had to find somebody that was a fall guy or why that happened and we didn't make the playoffs. Like, and they just used Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah as that fall guy. And I just was like, fuck, man. Like, I didn't think it was fair. Like, Kevin O'Connell still has things to work on. And I hear him talk about it now. Like, now that you signed Kyler Murray, now you want to change your offense. Like, you shouldn't have did that for McCarthy off top, but you didn't. Like, what's going to happen?
You remember our conversation when I brought you on to talk about the Vikings before the season even started? One of my things that I was saying about this whole regime was, I get that the money for Sam Darnold was going to be crazy because of the season that he had.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went into the season saying, dude, we're going to pay you an all-star 1-year contract with the fact that we're going to go with JJ McCarthy as our guy, but we love what you did, and we could promise whatever contract if we had the same type of year and look up as much as we did the previous year, but just know that we got JJ sitting in the wings. Are you okay with that? We'll pay you just give us a number, bring you back in for a year, and if it doesn't work out, then we're okay.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
And you're okay, right?
I don't know why that conversation didn't happen, because then now it's like the optics now look crazy.
I think with Sam though, it's like this, and I'm just trying to put my mind on how Sam was thought about it. So if you look at the last couple of games with Sam Darnold with the Vikings, he played horrible, right? It was the Detroit game was a debacle, and then you have to go to Arizona to play against the Rams in the playoffs, and that game was horrible too. I think Sam took a gamble on himself and basically said, like, hey, I've been a journeyman the past couple of seasons. Like, I've been called a bust, and now my value is at the top right now. I got a team in Seattle that's offering me a job with nothing tied to it. Nobody behind me. They're offering me a job. I'm going to actually go with a better offensive coordinator with a better offensive scheme, you know, and Kubiak, they're going to run the ball and play defense consistently. I think I might go there because that might be the best thing for my career, for my family. And even if I don't make it, because look at the deal. I think the deal was it was a big deal, but they could have got out of it in a year two with the Seattle deal, right? So Sam goes, I didn't do what's best for myself, because if I stay in Minnesota, even if they give me the money, if I have another bad game, I got to hear all this crap about put in McCarthy. It's time to put in McCarthy, you know, like.
Well, as like a former quarterback myself and like coaching quarterbacks, and just like quarterbacks are my thing. We had the biggest egos in the world outside of wide receivers. So it's like, I don't understand, from that aspect. It's like, dude, let's just go in like, oh, you're going to threaten me with McCarthy? Okay, I'm going to show you that I can do better this year. Because think about it, D Woods. It's like, yeah, you went to Seattle. Who knew that Jackson Smith and Jigba was? I mean, we knew that he was good, but like,
he was good.
You're telling me you had Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison versus JSN. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're a couple running backs away from being an okay offense. And if TJ Hawkinson could get his head out of his ass, then and show show us what he was in the past, then we'd be all right. Because
Yeah.
they didn't have a tight end in Seattle. I mean, they had Elijah Arroyo for a little bit, and then what's his name? AJ Barner.
AJ Barner.
I mean, he scored a lot of touchdowns at the end, but AJ Barner's not scaring anybody.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold kind of had the same type of trajectory at the end of their season for Seattle. I mean,
Yeah.
you remember them and the Rams were like battling out for the number one
Back and
spot.
forth, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Sam. It just, I guess I get the feeling that Sam Darnold's not like an ego guy like that. He is just like, I did what I did. I proved myself. Let's go to Seattle. And maybe he just, I mean, maybe it was a coach thing. Maybe he just likes the coaches over there too, which could be
that could be an overall. Yeah.
It'd be a bad reflection on the Vikings from that standpoint.
I don't think like people think that Kevin O'Connell is like, oh my God, I'm going to go to Kevin O'Connell and he's going to get me right. If you look at a lot of Sam Darnold's interviews since he's been in Seattle and he's won a Super Bowl, like he's never really brought up like Kevin O'Connell as the person that reset his career. And this is why I have a big old gripe with the college.
Weird.
Yeah, because he always gives credit to Shanahan. Like he sat behind Shanahan. And he goes into depth and he talks about how even Brock Purdy helped him prepare, differently than what he already did in the league before. Like he gives so much credit to Shanahan and how, he evolved as a quarterback to where he went to Minnesota. All right, it was cool. Then, okay, I'm going there Super Bowl the next year. It's like, I'm happy for Sam. Like off top, like I'm happy for Sam. He's a SC guy. Even though I'm not an SC fan, SC was always in my backyard. And, just looking at Sam when he was a younger cat coming up, like I'm happy for Sam. Like he did what's best for him, and it paid off. He got a Super Bowl, and can't nobody take it away.
The one thing about Sam that I appreciate, and I'll always go with the optics of like, if you're not good within 3 years of your career starting, he kind of beat the anomaly of that, but that formula usually works. Even Kurt Warner came out and said that like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, okay, I'm on the same.
Yeah,
I'm on the right wavelength because a Hall of Famer said that knows the quarterback position way better than any of us, right? So I'm like, okay, so that verified my thinking. The thing about Sam, though, is he made one bad comment about seeing ghosts. Remember that when he was with the Jets?
And it followed him, yeah.
And it followed his career, but he shut up and he took a gamble on himself. I knew something was like turned in his head when, if you go back and watch the last like 4 weeks that he was with the Panthers, he was the best quarterback in the NFL, and nobody talked about it. And I'm like, how's nobody talking about this? And then he gambled on himself and went to San Francisco.
Back up,
and that's why he credited Kyle Shanahan a lot.
So much, yeah.
And then he took a gamble on himself and went to you guys, had the season that he had. And then that trajectory was like this, bro.
And that's why he get to pay that, because it's like, all right, cool. I don't take these multiple stops. Now it's time to get paid. I don't want 14 games in Minnesota. I'm gonna win. I won 14 games in Seattle. Like he did the right thing, man. It's like,
and at the end of the day, he did this. He shut up the whole time.
Yeah. You got some people saying Sam is a Cinderella story. I mean, you could say that, but he was drafted top 5 in his draft. So this is what he was supposed to be doing. If you think about it, he was supposed to be doing this. But one thing that too, I want to go back to what you talk about, like with the PFF and not just PFF, with the draft simulation. So I don't know if a lot of people know PFF got bought out, they got sold. Like, how is that affecting like your realm of what you do? Like, is it going to be like big changes? Like, because I'm like, dang, I just bought PFF for the year this time, and I don't even know if it's going to be here for the rest of the year because they're changing things up. Like, how is that going to work going forward, Dante?
The PFF thing is interesting. So I use PFF to look at the in-depth stats because I think that in-depth stats can tell you a lot about any player. So like the average depth of target for a quarterback, or I like to see how many drops teams have. Like when people talk about Ty Simpson versus Fernando Mendoza's team only had 8 drops and Ty Simpson had 26, and Ryan Williams dropped 8 passes in one game. So it's like, you guys, everybody can say anything that they want about Ty Simpson, but I mean, come on, the situations were so like the drops is a bad thing, man. Like Xavier Worthy, for example, went first round because of his 40, but I told everybody that dude's got a drop issue. Guess what? Everybody's like, yeah, he ain't a number one receiver. You know what I'm saying? You can't fix those things. And some people are like, well, you can fix drops. I'm like, tell me it. Go look up the stats and tell me a wide receiver that ever fixed their drop issues going into the NFL. They haven't. It's just part of their DNA. I mean, how many coaches? You telling me like coaches that for Xavier Worthy, for example, Texas got some of the best coaches in college. You're telling me that the wide receiver coach wasn't? He's seen every jug machine drill. He's seen every quarterback. He's seen every route to throw. The dude just has butter for hands. Like, it just is what it is. But that's why I'm looking at PFF, because some things never break the mold. Like, drops is one thing that just never gets better. If you drop the ball a lot in college, you're going to drop a lot in the NFL. The only thing that I don't like about PFF is the player grades, because they're shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we don't know the formula.
Right.
So everybody could come up to me and say, oh, Christian Darrisaw had a 60 grade, and that's not true when he's in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, he's one of the best left tackles in the league, and you guys are sitting there capping like he's not.
Yeah, I think the overall information for PFF is great. Like, I think it serves its purpose. I don't know if there's going to be another platform out there that's going to be able to do the same thing PFF is doing. Just like you said earlier, GMs use all this data. They might have more than what we can actually see because they're paying for more, but like they're using, like, I'm just getting to PFF right now, just like you said, with the detailed data. Like, it's good. Like, it helps you win some arguments sometimes, because you can actually look at what's being said. Okay, look at the snap count. Like, this guy did this guy did that. Like, boom, it's right there. So I'm gonna be kind of a little pissed if PFF goes away. If not, if it transfers into something else, because
but they got bought out by analytics companies. So I think the analytics is the one thing that we might be getting even more than we have before. So I'm excited to see how that transforms.
It might get better.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that got let go were a lot of the content guys. Look, you know me, man. I don't care about the national media. I don't like, me and Thor on Twitter have had it out, because I think he sometimes just rattles off bullshit. But there's no way that this dude has watched 500 prospects and able to put a list together for you. Like, it's just not possible. It's not possible. You're telling me Thor has gone through every single game this season for every single player and graded them and able to put them on a list? Like, come on, bro. You're a human. Yeah. Thank you, Chat GPT. That's what it is. But that's just, the little gripe I have with some people. But, people like that work for PFF too. And those are the people that got let go in the content game. I don't let anybody influence my opinion without me doing my own research. Like I said, when I went through the scouting program, or, I go to coaching, I'll pay for coaching clinics. Like, I'm constantly trying to reinvent the wheel in my own way. I'll tell you one dude that kicked my ass a couple years ago. Christian Gonzalez. I could never understand why everybody thought he was so good. I was like, dude, this dude's gonna be a bust. And he came to the NFL and kicked my ass.
The way he played in the Super Bowl, that was an eye opener for me. I was like, God damn, he's that dude. He's that dude. But I mean, they came up with shit.
It sharpened the knife for me. The next year, I was excited that I was so wrong, because I was like, God damn, I need to dig into cornerbacks more. So then I went out and I paid for like 20 coaching seminars at Nick Saban, because Nick Saban is a DB dude. And I said, what? I need to figure out what I was missing with him. And it just bothered me. So then when I start hitting on prospects and more, these are the things that I do in my free time. Like, I feel like this is like a second job for me, even though it's not. But it's important to do that, and to feel like that you're not ahead of the curve like you think you are all the time.
Yeah.
And so now I'm more comfortable with cornerbacks, and I can sit here and tell you, like, yeah, his trail technique is off, or yeah, he should have peeled back and let the linebacker come down on that mesh route and took off on the flat. Like, those are the type of things that now I understand why Christian Gonzalez was the way he was at Oregon, and why I missed. So, all that stuff's important in reality. But this goes to say, like, all those PFF guys that just say, oh yeah, he's great, blah, blah, blah. He's such a beast. I compare him to Optimus Prime. It's like, I don't want to hear that analysis, because that doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
You know, I want to hear from people that like can tell me about the technique, the footwork, all that stuff. And I'm not an intangibles guy either. Like everybody says about Ruben Bain's arms, I don't care because the dude wrecked shop like the last 5 weeks of the season. So you know,
Yeah. So let's move it on to like the draft philosophy debate. Some people out there feel like you should go into the draft and only draft for your team need. And some people say, hey, nah, don't do that. Go BPA, which is best player available. Like, which philosophy is the best, or do you have to be somewhat in between to get it done?
who give me an example of 2 draft philosophies, and then I'll give you my answer.
Okay, so back in the day, I'm gonna give a Vikings analogy. Back in the day, I'm not sure what the year it was, but the Vikings the year prior, Chester Taylor had about like 1,200 yards rushing. Right, the Vikings had just signed him to a big deal from Baltimore to be the number 1 running back. The next year, they drafted running back in Adrian Peterson. They didn't need a running back. I mean, I would say the Vikings probably needed a quarterback because they always need one. But they didn't need Adrian Peterson. But that's what panned out for him. And Adrian Peterson became a phenomenal talent. Let's go to the 22 draft with Kwesi's first draft. Everyone know they needed a safety. Well, let's back it up. I'm gonna do a better one than that. Let's back it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the guy's name. I forgot his name, but he was a corner. He was a corner where the Vikings had just signed Kirk Cousins in 2018, and they needed more corners on the roster. So they go out and get the corner. I forgot his name, but he was drafted like late in the first round. But they
is it the skinny dude that plays in the UFL now?
He's played. I think he's played for Atlanta. I think he went to Atlanta. He went to Kansas City, but he just never panned out as a good corner in this league. And then we can even talk about the 22 with Louis Seen. Like everyone knew they needed a safety, and then they want Mike Hughes. Thank you, Gil. Yeah. Thank you, Gil. Mike Hughes. Thank you. Thank you. It was Mike Hughes. They needed winning in the draft and needed that. Or another one where they go out there. Everyone knew Vikings needed a center. They go get Garrett Bradbury, and that's what they signed. Brought in. So that's 2 scenarios. Like when you,
I think it really depends. Yeah, Cameron Dantzler, that's who I was thinking of too. But Cam Dantzler, I just don't think he was like he should have stayed another year in college because he's killing it in the UFL right now. He's like the best defensive back in the UFL. Like he's absolutely on another level, which is good for him because he'll find his way back in the league. So wish nothing but the best for anybody that's trying to find their way back. But the philosophy should be this, in my opinion. If you are going into a draft, BPA should be the guy that you can guarantee to come in and be a game changer. There's only 2 guys in this draft, Jeremiah Love and Caleb Downs. Mm-hmm. If that's for any team that doesn't have a star player of those 2 positions. So when I think about the Jets, I love Breece Hall. I think he's awesome. He's injury prone, but his tape didn't look like Jeremiah Love's coming out. But what if you pair Jeremiah Love and him together in the same backfield?
Sounds like a good back.
You draft your quarterback in Ty Simpson. It's a great situation. So the Jets should really think about that. Caleb Downs, on the other hand, it's like having a safety and linebacker in one. There's nobody that's more relentless than this dude in this draft. His tape is one of the cleanest out there. He's a guaranteed, I felt the same way about Derek Stingley and Kyle Hamilton coming out. I said those 2 were going to be generational. Guess what? Those 2 are generational. Hands down, those 2 are the best at what they do, or at least top 3 at their position. Outside of that, you should really go in with the expectation of stick to your guns all the way through your draft. Meaning, if you guys needed a safety, which everybody knows that you do.
Hamilton was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is another draft where it's Caleb Downs, Dylan Thieneman, and then it's a drop off.
It's a drop. Yeah.
If you don't get Dylan Thieneman, you need to size him up with the next available best person that's like either him or Caleb Downs, because those two are game changers, in my opinion. It's not Emmanuel McNeil Warren. The dude is slow as shit. He gets burned up the seams. Just watch the tape. The one thing that he is great with, though, is he can play the gaps. He can get after a running back, and he can hawk you down that way. That's pretty much it. The other two can do the same thing. So try to find the next best person, which is nobody's going to talk about this, but the third best safety in this class is AJ Halsey from LSU.
LSU. Yeah.
So that's where I think people like they go like Caleb Downs, Dylan Thieneman, that's who we want. They're the archetypes. And then they go, well, the consensus says that Emmanuel McNeil Warren is the best. And it's like, no, it's AJ Halsey.
So I have listened to a couple of other guys today that actually said the same thing you said about Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And some people are saying this like his technique is not there. That's the reason why he was in Toledo. Like all this other stuff. Like for the next couple of minutes, Dante, just break down Emmanuel McNeil Warren to everybody in the chat, especially these Viking fans, so they can kind of get an idea of what to expect. Because I don't think this is a Khalil Mack Buffalo situation. I don't think it's that.
Yeah. We'll be doing our safety list this week. So I've watched a lot of tape on Emmanuel McNeil Warren since January, because like his name is being thrown around there. And I'm like, to me, it's Caleb Downs, Dylan Thieneman. I need to figure out who's third. Like that, I need to figure out who's in the top 5, because all of that's up in the air right now. I'm not a huge Bud Clark fan. I've seen his name thrown around. I think he's okay. I don't think he's up there in the top 3. So I'm like, you really need to solidify who that guy is. So Emmanuel McNeil Warren is no more than he should be playing nickelback, in my opinion. And the reason is because at the line of scrimmage, he's relentless. He can navigate the gaps. He can get after the running back. Like, he plays crazy there.
Sounds like
when he gets out in space, and dude, I've seen this way too many times. Like, it drives me crazy why people think that he's going to be this ball hawk. Who do you think you're going to line up on Sundays against? The fastest dudes in the slot. We're talking about Trey Tucker, the rest of these guys that are just burners. He can't catch up to those guys if they're running a 9 route, bro, or a post route. He gets absolutely cooked. The thing is, on his tape, he gets away with it, and the quarterbacks that he played with, or played against in the MAC, they're not the best quarterbacks out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about DeQuan Finn and the rest of these guys who are just nobodies. And so they're not as smart as other quarterbacks that are going to be in the NFL that are going to rip you up on the seams and know that you're the slowest guy out there. So, yeah, take a gamble on Emmanuel McNeil Warren if you want to. Is he a good player? He's good at what he does. But if you bring him on the Vikings, it's going to be Lewis Cine 2.0, if not worse.
And that's what I'm afraid of, because I see people like say the same thing you said with the whole be at the line of scrimmage situation. It sounds like Josh Metellus to me. And we already got a guy that does that, where Josh Metellus, when he has to actually go out there and play a nickel position, or he has to play safety, he gets cooked. He gets beat like a drum. But when he's actually playing, when you got two safeties, playing for him, when you had Harrison Smith and Cam Bynum, he looked great because he could do all the other stuff, right? But we got to we have to draft a safety, not a gadget guy. It has to be a safety. And I understand, how I feel about Brian Flores' defense, man. I think it's holes in between it. The middle of the field is always there, and they have to get younger. So bringing in a guy, if Emmanuel McNeil Warren is similar to Josh Metellus, it's a hard pass, man. I need some cover skills.
I'm gonna give you some names that I think would fit great in Brian Flores' scheme. If you can't get Caleb Downs and you can't get Dylan Thieneman, if you just decide to take not to gamble on those two and trade up, or if Dylan Thieneman just doesn't fall, right? Which would be the worst case scenario because he's being dropped. That's one pick that I agree with 100% that gets mocked from everybody that does Viking stuff. Like Dylan Thieneman, unless you just don't like the fact that you're picking up a safety that early. But I think that that's the correct pick. I don't think AJ Halsey will fit your scheme, but I think Michael Taft from Texas is good. I think VJ Payne from Kansas State. I don't know why he's not being talked about more. And then the last guy that I think would absolutely cook if you go and pick him up in like the 6th round, Jacoby Thomas from Miami is Harrison Smith 2.0 if he gets a little bit more coaching and doesn't play with his head, but plays more with his heart.
Okay.
Because I think he's like so mental up here sometimes that he's like, will whiff on a tackle. But then other times when he's playing with his heart, he knocks the shit out of people. Like, but I think he can drop back in coverage and play really well there. And I think he can come in the box and play well there. You see him line up in nickel and hold his own there. Like, but the 6th round, like, let's say you get Dylan Thieneman and Jacoby Thomas in this draft.
The Vikings do need 2 safeties.
Hey, I'll be like this for you, man. I'd be like, man, that's great right there.
Yeah.
I like that. So, bring 2 young guys in to put pressure on these 2. And Brian Flores is going to be licking his chops for the next, however many years he's with you.
Yeah, he's going to be here for a while. I don't think he's ever, not to say ever, but I don't think he's getting the head coaching job.
I think he's got like 2 or 3 more seasons before the NFL trusts him again.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, that's like, those are a couple of names that I'm going to have to look at now too. Like, because I think the Vikings going into this draft, they should try to get 2 safeties, like it's a need. Like Jay Ward, no, like he's a backup at best. Josh Metellus, I already said he can't play safety. Like he's a gadget guy. Like and then you have to get younger. Now, I do think cornerback for the Vikings is a position they should look forward to also, because they only have 3 playable corners right now. They only have 3 corners on the roster right now. So like it's something they gotta do, man. Like they gotta think long term, man. They really do.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in a tough position though, with just where you are in the draft, because like corners are they're absolutely top heavy in this draft, in my opinion. Because you got pick 18, which I'll tell you what my mock draft was if you didn't see the video. So Dylan Thieneman was the first pick. Then I think that you guys should have went to the trenches in the 2nd round at pick 49 and pick up Grayson Holton. Like, I think you guys just need a blitzer in the middle of the field. You don't need any more gap filling guys. We've tried this experiment.
Yeah.
And you just have no pressure. You just expect you got Ivan Patience to come down and crash the gaps the whole time. And he's not big enough to do that. He gets washed out by guards. Like, you need a Grayson Holton to go and push their shit in. Like, and that's what he could do.
I'm laughing because, man, I'm not an Ivan Pace guy. Like I used to get so much hate. Like Ivan Pace is the guy. Like that dude is ass. He's small. He can't get around guards. If he's not it. He's not it. He had a good year and he hasn't been the same since. Like, come on.
He should be playing strong side backer and dropping in coverage. That's what he should be doing.
But he can't cover.
He used to in college. I don't know what happened. That was one of his best traits coming out, like Cincinnati. And your 3rd round pick at 82, I had Isaiah World from Oregon. Like I think that dude is a game record tackle. And this is what we were talking about before. Like, go get another tackle.
Yeah.
Whatever the fans think, just whatever. You need somebody to come in and be young in case Brian O'Neill, he's at the end of his road. And if Christian Darrisaw goes down, because if any of those 2 guys go down and Isaiah World comes in and he's amazing, then you're going to be like, all right, we cooking with Crisco. Depth is the teams that beat you are the teams that have depth. Like, it just is what it is. And then to fill in for your Ivan Pace issue, you guys need a legit middle of the field, sideline to sideline guy. That's not any of the other guys, Andrew Van Ginkel and the rest of these guys. You need another guy to do that. You don't need him to be sexy and go out there and get sacks. You just need, I need tackles. That's what I need. Torian York from Texas A&M would fill in. Those are my 4 picks. And a lot of people are like, there's no way we're drafting a tackle. It's like, it doesn't matter. If you need the depth, man. Like, and if you can pick up that guy, you go and pick him up.
And people got to understand though, right? This draft, in my opinion, for the Vikings is extremely important because if you look at the last four drafts with Kwesi and whoever picked these picks, so I'm not just gonna say Kwesi did it by himself. Kevin O'Connell was involved and the coaching staff, but you have to try to get this right, and you have to try to inject this team with some kind of youth on both sides of the ball because guys get older and they get injured and they come back from injuries like they linger, you know, and just like with the tackle situation, Brian O'Neill doesn't have a contract after this season. I don't know if they're going to resign him or not, and Darisaw is consistently always hurt. So you have to do something there. I mean, if they would have looked at that position maybe a year ago, then they can go into this offseason and saying, hey, you know, we seen what we got into a tackle we drafted, you know, a few years ago in the 3rd, 4th round. Yeah. Ryan O'Neill, now we don't have to negotiate with you for another contract to give you that last payday for your end of your career for a send-off. Now you're somewhat expendable. Christian Darisaw, you're always hurt. Let's see if we can trade you to the highest bidder to get more picks in here. Like that, when you have depth like that on your roster, you're able to do way more things with your team going forward. But if you're going into drafts and free agency of just like, let's plug a need, let's not worry about the depth. Something happens, and look what happened last year. The damn fucking breaks and all hell breaks loose. You know, like you have to think long term. I just don't think that like some fans and you know some people out there, they don't think about it like that. They think like the Vikings are in win now mode and I have that consistent battle. Like we are not in win now mode. There's only a handful of teams that are perennial playoff teams that are actually have a chance of winning the Super Bowl every year. Yeah, you have some of those teams that pop up out of nowhere, but then what happens the next year? They go right back to being bad.
Like, I'll tell you, you know, as a Jaguars fan, like, you know, I don't go out there. I criticize the Jaguars more than, and people are like, you just hate your own team. Like, maybe I do because I've seen us be mediocre. But the one thing I always said about the Jaguars is like, if we're going to be good, we have to draft depth and stop thinking that our number one guys on the depth chart, you put way too much pressure on these guys year to year to year and never put any pressure on the guys that are the backups that are supposed to come in and relieve these guys. I.e., Travis Etienne was a great running back. I don't know why we got rid of him, but he had a great season because we drafted LaQuinn Allen and we drafted Bishol Tootin, and they went absolutely haywire, and they felt good about, okay, we can let Travis Etienne walk and go to the Saints. It's because we had depth. Yeah. Or like at the wide receiver position, I hated the last 3 seasons of Jaguars draft. I'll tell you the one dude that I love though. I said Parker Washington should be a legit wide receiver on this team. F what Brian Thomas Jr. is about. He had one great year is because Trevor force fed the shit out of him, and then everybody started double covering him, and his confidence got lost. Guess who was our breakout player this year? Parker Washington. And everybody's like, yeah, he's better than Brian Thomas Jr. And it's like, guys, because we drafted depth, and when we really needed somebody to step up, we started utilizing everybody else. Maybe that was a coaching change. Like, of course, we needed a different philosophy to come in. But again, our depth showed up. And that's the same thing with you guys. Like, stop going out there and just relying on TJ Hawkinson to be the guy. Go draft the guy to put pressure on him. Because the only person that's going to get out of his own way is TJ. You need to have a younger guy to come in there and just say, like, bro, it ain't that comfortable for you no more, homie.
I'm next.
Exactly. And then maybe you get the best out of TJ for the next 2 seasons, and you're like, okay, well, we recouped our talent. So
yeah, I got my guy T in here, and he comes on with me every now and then. We have a constant debate. I know he's talking about Darisaw. Like, Darisaw is a beast when healthy. That's the key part, when healthy. Like, when has he been healthy for 17 games? He hasn't been. He when he was drafted, he had a damn core issue, injury where he missed half a training camp. Like, he has not been healthy. Like, let's just call it for what it is. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. And then we got T-Baz. I think T-Baz. He's talking about Vidarian Lowe was drafted and the Vikings gave up on him in the first. I think it was training camp where they traded him to the Patriots, and he started games over there with the Patriots. I mean, I don't want to go into depth with the Viking situation because I think you know how I feel about Kevin O'Connell and this coaching staff, man. There's plenty of guys on the offensive line that was bad with us, went somewhere else, and actually was good. People out there said that Ed Ingram was trash. He got a second contract with Houston. Even though Bradbury was limited, he started every game for the Patriots last year and didn't give up a sack. But then we went out and got, just like you said, taking need, went out and got Ryan Kelly, and he was in out the lineup because of his injury issues, you know, and then he had to retire because of the concussion. You go out there, it's just you overpay for real fries when you got the same player, you got the same, you know, the same play that you got years prior with Ed Ingram. That's just how I feel about it.
I have this suspicion that the Vikings are going to go in the second round and draft a receiver and just totally give up on Ty Felton. And I'm gonna just sit there and laugh like, what are we doing, bro? Like,
I believe in Keenan McCardell. I do. Keenan, that's a Keenan McCardell pick right there.
He goes everywhere and changes wide receiver rooms.
Yes.
Like, but you don't need another one. If you're gonna draft a receiver, you draft them late. Let it be your last pick of the draft or something like that.
Yeah.
Or going free agency. There's plenty of them there, but superseding the guys, I just hate how people just give up on young guys, man. Like, it's crazy. I know Ty Felton had a drop problem, but he was one of my favorites coming out of, you know, out of Maryland. Like, he was right up the street from me. Like, I got to see this dude like do work on Saturdays, but had a bad Senior Bowl, then end up dropping passes for you guys, and it's just, I mean, what as a young guy, let's say this D was right. I walk into the building. I know I'm never going to start because I got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson in the same room as me. So my confidence is like here. And instead of being like, well, those two guys are not guaranteed to always be healthy, and we're going to need you when it counts.
Or suspend it.
Exactly. or suspend it. So is KOC going and instilling that into his guy? Or is he just like, well, when Jalen Naylor goes down and needs relief, you guys stepping in third, and then you're just going to be a decoy for us?
See, a lot of people don't know this, and I've talked about this in depth about it too. Like, so if you go back to the offseason and training camp, whatever, right before the season started, Jalen Naylor had a hand injury, and the training staff was like, "Oh, you're going to miss a couple of games or whatever." He flies to California, gets a second opinion, and never misses a game. But within that whole time frame, the Vikings panicked. And when they panicked, they trade for Adam Thielen, who was already over the hill and done, right? And my whole philosophy with that is like, why are you trading for Adam Thielen? Like, if Naylor doesn't play, just throw Felton in and see what happens. Like what can happen? You have Naylor running clear outs any damn way. Like, Ty Felton's fast. He can run the clear out too. Like, it's why would you have to trade for Thielen? And Thielen comes to the team, and it kind of like, he wasn't the same Adam Thielen that he was years ago. And then he complains because the team is not in playoff contention, and he gets cut after you traded picks for him. And then he goes to Pittsburgh and doesn't do shit there. It's like that's the panic. Like, I would have been like, all right, Naylor, you can't play. Cool. We drafted a guy in the third round. Felton, let's see what you got. And even when the season was over, I'm like, all right, we're 4-8. There's a young guys play. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. See what they got.
It's a head scratcher for sure, man.
Yeah,
and that all comes down to coaching, man. I mean, there's nothing else to be said about that. That's not a Kwesi Adofo-Mensah problem.
No,
Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is there to draft and work on these contracts.
Yeah.
That's
Kevin
it.
O'Connell. That was Kevin O'Connell saying he needed a guy to come in here that knew his offense and blah, blah, blah. I would have been more happy with them just going out there and say, hey, KJ Osborne's available. He was here for a couple of years. He's not going to cost us no draft picks. Like, all right, fuck it. KJ, come in here, be the number 3 receiver for a couple of weeks before Naylor comes back. It just made me so mad because they panicked, and then Naylor never missed any games. So Adam Thielen came to this team for to be the fourth receiver on this roster, which made no sense to me.
I had to look it up, man. Ty Felton only had 3 catches for 25 yards. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they didn't play him. He basically played the gunner role all season with playing special teams. I understand it, but we were 4-8. We were 4-8. Like, you have to see what's on your roster at that point. We're not making the playoffs.
Third round receivers, that's kind of unheard of, like, to have that low of production.
Yeah, that's the whole philosophy. Like, I feel that Kevin O'Connell does not want to play the rookies. He doesn't want to go out there and give these guys a chance. He wants, like, oh, I need guaranteed guys. And that's why if you look at how this team was, built, they go out there and get a lot of free agents, multiple off seasons and try to do all this and then they miss in the draft and then they go sign undrafted free agents. Like, nah, you got to build your team through the draft. You really do. So let's go with this one, Dante. What are the teams across the league that actually have real big needs going into this draft? I know the Raiders. My dad's a big Raider fan, so people give me shit because I talk about the Raiders sometimes. I mean, that's my dad. That's what he wants to talk about. He doesn't call me and say, hey, let's talk about the Vikings. He wants to talk about the Raiders. So with the Raiders, we know they need quarterback, even though they signed Kirk. I think they need a receiver. What other team has to go into this draft and say, hey, we got to get this?
I think the Jets need a quarterback too. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Even though that's probably not on their top priority. I mean, they lost Jermaine Johnson, so they're going to try to fill in that spot, and they're at the top of the list where like Orville Reese or Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs is going to be in their hip pocket. So that, I mean, the glaring need for me is like, man, we need a quarterback. For the Giants, man, I think they need a safety. Like, if they go and draft Sonny Styles instead of Caleb Downs, I think that's the fumble of the draft. Like, literally, I think they fumbled on the 1-yard line with their pants down. Like, it's crazy because they have no. I mean, they lost Xavier McKinney, and everybody knows what he has been doing with the Green Bay Packers. So they're dealing with that. Saquon doing great with the Eagles, so they fumble with that. It's like, how do you fumble 2 guys like that? And then you go and get homie from Miami who was hurt part of the season, which he's going to be okay, but you have no true strong safety. Like, homie from Minnesota was not it. So I think that they're a team. I don't think everybody else is as obvious outside of like the Cowboys. They definitely need defensive help, like at corner or safety too. So they're up there with you guys. Like I think they should go and draft Dylan Thieneman. Like, that would be the place for him to go, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that.
12, right? They have 12 and 20 this year.
Yeah, they have 12 and 20. You're absolutely right. Who else is on this list? I mean, I think the Chiefs need corner. They got rid of both of their guys, so that's an obvious need there. And I think everybody else, like, their depth, they're drafting for depth and trying to find their next guy. I mean, do the Steelers trust Will Howard to come in if Aaron Rodgers is not there? Maybe they need quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. The Rams were the interesting one until they traded for both those corners, because our first mock draft, we had them double dipping at corner, and then in free agency, they double dipped at corner. So I was like,
yeah, they're not going to draft the corner. Yeah. I mean, what about the Cardinals? What are they going to do?
Oh, man. So like Jacoby Brissett was so good last year. When he was in, by the way that he was playing. So I don't know if they necessarily need to panic and draft a quarterback. Like, I think they can wait till next year and draft a for sure guy next year. When you got Marvin Harrison Jr. on that team, who was projected to be like the guy.
Yeah.
And then I look at the running back situation. Now you got Tyler Algier, you got James Conner, and you got Trey Benson. Like, your running back, and the Cardinals is talking about trying to go get Jeremiah Love. Like, that's a crowded running back room, bro.
That's a crowded running back room.
I think that's a waste of a pick if they do that. I don't know if the Cardinals' needs are as obvious. I think what they've been doing, like when they picked up Darius Robinson and then they've just been drafting edge rusher. I think they've just been striking out, basically. It's not the fact that they haven't been trying. It's just, they've been striking out a lot. And then Walter Nolan, man, everybody wanted Walter Nolan last year. And then I believe he tore his knee or did something to his ankle or knee or something. Didn't start till like week 12. In the 2 weeks he played, he was amazing, and then got hurt again.
Didn't they get like one from
Will Johnson from Michigan?
Yeah, from Michigan. Yeah. He was hurt, doing the draft, and that's why he fell. So,
but he was amazing.
I wanted to draft him last year. Like, that'd have been perfect. You would have drafted him last year and snatched him because he was hurt. And now you can't. Now you have the luxury of, in this draft, you don't have to get a corner, or you don't have to get a corner in free agency because you got somebody young, extending right now. But yeah,
and it's funny that the guys that they gambled on were fully healthy, then they didn't pan out, and then the guy that was like had injury issues panned out. And Will Johnson. I mean, how bad luck can you get for it? Arizona Cardinals has just been dealing with bad luck, man. I'm just sorry to say it. Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't pan out his first year, and it's just like he's kind of ascending.
I still think he's going to be good. You saw what he did with Jacoby Brissett at the end of the season, especially like with Trey McBride. Because I had Trey McBride in fantasy, and I was just like, man, this shit sucks. But then when Jacoby Brissett got the job, I was like, okay, I got Trey McBride now.
Facts. I think the other team that really has a need right now is just because the dude recently retired. Levante David not being on the Buccaneers is going to be weird. But they obviously need another linebacker now. And you're not, I don't know who's going to be like Levante David was such a special talent. Like, I don't know if there's a Levante David in this draft, but they need to at least try.
Okay.
Maybe it's CJ Allen from Georgia, or, I just don't know like who's going to be that guy. He was so good, but everybody else is just like, outside of you guys needing safety, the Dolphins are weird too, because if you look at their wide receiver room, they're the smallest in the league. Like Jalen Tolbert and the rest of these guys, like, it's just weird. They're just small. They need like a bigger receiver. But I think that's obviously where they should go. I don't know how Malik Willis is going to do with them. That's going to be
that's going to be interesting.
Will he be Sam Darnold, or will he just be Matt Castle? We're
gonna have to see. But they do need to give him a receiver because I mean, you signed a guy and you trade Waddle away. Like, what the fuck? I'm looking like, hey, can I pull a Baltimore? I failed my physical. I don't want to be here anymore. Like you signed a guy and then you trade the best receiver on the roster away. Like, I hope you told him that before you signed him. Like, that's kind of messed up, man.
Hey, I was a Bo Nix guy.
Yeah.
It's just like, give my boy Bo Nix more weapons and see what's gonna happen, right? Like, that's the one thing he needed. Like, Cortland Sutton's good, but now you got like a legit guy now. Like, it's gonna be crazy. Like, the Broncos are gonna be crazy good. But yeah, as soon as I saw that run against, I had to look at my phone like 3 times. I'm like, there ain't no fucking way that they just traded away the only good receiver they had, but then bring in Malik Willis and say, all right, man, we're confident in you. You're the number one guy. Now you ain't confident in me. You just traded my guy away. Like,
for real. He's all looking around like, man, this is the Titans 2.0 all over again. I thought I was going to a better situation. Yeah. So we got this question for you. What's your thoughts on Jacob Rodriguez?
I would encourage you, Northfius, to go and look at our top 10 linebackers. He was number 1.
Okay.
Not necessarily on just the consensus here. Like, we do a consensus, then we do our individual. On my individual board, Jake Golday was my number 1. I think Jacob was number 2 on my list after that. Jacob Rodriguez, man, people can say what he want about his size. He is an absolute demon. Like, I look at that whole Texas Tech team last year, and I say to myself, like, Lee Hunter and Skylar Gill-Howard and, all those guys on the defense, Wisniewski at safety, and David Bailey, who I'm not high on whatsoever. Like, I don't think he's a top edge rusher. And my boy Romello Height on the other side. Jacob Rodriguez was so responsible. Like, if you need a guy to get an interception, get a fumble, and most importantly, tackle the ball carrier. I'll tell you what the one issue was. I know we talked about tackling earlier, right? Like with Torian York, like coming and replacing Ivan Pace and just being the guy, the sideline guy that you need. I think in 2017, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl for the first time, they were one of the worst tackling teams by missed tackle percentage in the league. As soon as they signed Homie from the Saints and they got a little, they started getting more healthy, and then they brought Vic Fangio in. Vic Fangio's first thing he said, because I live in this area, he said, we got to be a better tackling team before anything. And a lot of people will say tackles are overrated. If they are, then why did the Eagles win that last Super Bowl? Because they were the best tackling team in the league. People don't understand how important just tackling is, man. Like, there's no way that the Eagles should have lost that 2017 Super Bowl with how good Jalen Hurts played. But it was their defense. They were just missing tackles, man. They wanted to blame it on the turf. Like both teams had the same disadvantage, dummies. Yeah. Like let's be real about this. So you could complain about the turf all you want to, but both teams are at a disadvantage, and the Chiefs won. But when they won that last Super Bowl, they were so good at tackling, and I was like, well, Zach Bond and the rest of those guys deserved it because they did exactly what Vic Fangio was out there teaching. I feel the same way about Jacob Rodriguez. I don't care that he's undersized. The dude tackles. That's what you need. So, and he's a turnover machine, which is just a plus.
Especially when you have Eric Wilson. He's already in his 30s. Blake Cashman doesn't have a contract after this season. And just like we talked about earlier, you have to get these players in there a year before when you actually need it. Because then when you actually need it, you go out there and you can fumble it so easily because you're going to the draft like, oh, we have to do this. We have to do this. We got to fill that need. So this is the perfect year to do it. You just gave Wilson some extra money. Go ahead and draft the linebacker wherever you can that can come in here and figure things out. Like that's just how I see it.
This is the best defensive draft probably that we had in the last 10 years. And the reason why I say that is by the numbers. Go and look at how bad offense was in college football last year. Here's what I'll say. Hold on, let me make sure I look this up before I spew out. All right. Hold on. I just gotta make sure, but I think I'm right here. Let's see. Complete leaders, and we're gonna go to. Yep, I was right. Okay. Do you think Fernando Mendoza had over 4,000 yards passing?
No, he didn't.
3,500. He's the worst Heisman winning quarterback statistically that we've had in like the last 30 years. So that tells you right there that this was a bad defensive year. There wasn't one Power 5 quarterback that had over 4,000 yards. Darren Mensa was the closest with 3,900. There was one Group of 5 quarterback that had over 4,000. That was Drew Mestemaker at 4,300. This is nasty work, bro. So that means that this draft coming up is defensively, these guys played out of their mind. DBs, edge rushers, linebackers, you got to give them credit just from that fact alone. So I think people overlook this and say it's not the sexiest draft. It was because there's only really 2 good quarterbacks that are going to get drafted in the first round. Well, I don't want to say, in my opinion, I think Drew Aller is a first round quarterback if you really just watch the tape. But the consensus is like Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza should be first rounders. Everybody else, it's a lot of defensive guys, man. Like, just think about it, like Caleb Downs and David Bailey, Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor. Like the first round, more than half of them are defensive players.
Yeah. Okay. So Dante, someone's asking for how do they find you? So just put the link to your channel in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat for sure.
So with that being said, who are the draft risers and fallers? I know the combine's over, pro days are over, like all that's over. The shorts and t-shirts is over right now. So who are like the risers and fallers in this draft right now? Like who?
The risers, man. Francis Malgoa from Miami is definitely a draft riser because a lot of people were saying that like he wasn't the best offensive lineman that he should move and guard. Francis Malgoa is in a unique situation that people are starting to realize that like it doesn't matter where that dude's going to play on the offensive line. He's the only offensive lineman that can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. So he might go somewhere like the Titans, right? And then you pair him up with his boy Cam Ward, and he feels super comfortable with that guy being there. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because I know who their head coach is, and he's a defensive guy. But I definitely think that he's a riser. I'll give you a riser now that he's rising on people's boards. But I said back in December that this dude was a first rounder, and people looked at me like, you are crazy. There is no way. Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, nobody had him in the first round. And if you go back on my channel, I said in December, that dude's a first round wide receiver. There's mock drafts to have him going as high as the Rams at like 13.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, the tape is there, man. You know, so I put a little feather in my cap on that one. But I mean, he's a riser now. That happened, you know, in the draft. I don't know if you heard about the Ruben Bain situation. Did you hear about that?
Is that because his arms are so small or something like that?
Nah, he got cited for reckless driving like a couple months ago, even though the charges were dropped. Now they're going to use that against him now too. So yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Shit. That sucks. So we got AJ. AJ wants to ask you this question, Dante.
Yeah.
Who your top 3 in the draft? Top 3.
Top 3, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love. Man, that is a hard question. Top 3. I know definitely those 2. Like I think they're generational.
I mean, because I look at this draft as a draft not for stars, a draft for depth. If you like, this is a good draft for depth. If you do it right.
Oh, I'll give you my 3rd one. He's fallen out of the first round, but he's we watched that tape, man. It was like we were at the combine. Me and Sora were at the combine doing media, and we were sitting in the Airbnb. I'm like, "Yo, you want to turn on this Cassius Howell tape from Texas A&M?" I hadn't had a chance to check him out yet, and I was like, "I seen him during the season or whatever, but like the tape is just different. You grind the tape." So we were watching the All 22. It was the first game, I believe it was against LSU, and I was like, "Yo, this dude." How are people not talk about him as the best edge rusher? That was just after one game. Then we started watching like 2 more games after that. This dude has the deepest toolbox of any edge rusher in this class. I think he's going to be an absolute monster. And people are saying about him, his arms are too short. I don't care. The dude, if he gets beat on the bull rush, he'll move to a spin move. If he gets beat on the spin move, he'll move to a swim move. If he gets beat with the swim move, he does this thing that they call a ghost step, where it looks like he like speed rushes and then almost like hops and jumps and then gets around you. It's the craziest shit that I've ever seen. He's the most creative pass rusher in this class, man. So I think he's probably my number 3. And that's no slight to everybody else in this class because I feel very highly about like Romello Height from Texas Tech. I think he's a better edge rusher than David Bailey. A lot of people look at like Chris Bell from Louisville, the wide receiver, because of his ACL injury. That dude he's gonna be a monster when he's healthy. Mekhi Lemon, look. Tell y'all about Mekhi Lemon, bro. Mekhi Lemon is one of those guys like goes after everything. And I know you're right up the street from USC.
Yeah.
Jaden Maov is that dude at quarterback too. I know he's coming out next year, but just a guy to watch out for. Let's see, is there anybody else that I just feel like super highly about? Oh, there's a guy in this draft, undersized, but put him on your radar. He plays center for Alabama. His name is Parker Brailsford.
Okay.
He's 6'2", 290, which is like super undersized. But that dude won every single rep putting people on their ass this year. I don't know why he's not higher on everybody's center list. Like, he's so fun to watch. And then of course I'm gonna throw this guy up there because he was my top linebacker. But you remember how we were a couple years ago, man, where people were hating my takes that Jack Campbell was better than Ivan Pace,
Ivan Pace, yeah,
and I actually ended up being right about that.
right.
Go figure. Jake Golday is the next
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell, bro.
Okay.
Out of Cincinnati. He's so good. He's so good. This class is just like full of some gems, man. Red Murdoch from Buffalo, too. You talking about a linebacker that goes in there and peanut punches everything out, can cause a fumble. I think he actually broke the record in college for most forced fumbles in their career. I think he had like 18 or something like that.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
you got guys in the comments asking you questions, Dante. Let me get to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Thoughts on the running back from Army?
You're talking about
Eli
Hendrich, I believe his name. I think he's gonna ultimately be like a gadget guy at the next level. Like I think he's probably gonna move in and play a receiver.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you, I'm not very high on him. I mean, I think he's a good talent, and you might see him come in for a couple fun plays, but he's probably going to be a special teamer and like a gunner on special teams, and might see him return a couple kicks here and there. But yeah, I wouldn't think too highly of him.
Okay.
I mean, because they run the ball at those military schools like 90% of the time.
Yeah, they don't really pass like that.
Yeah, so his numbers are going to look crazy, but I mean, he gets force fed the ball too.
Okay. Y'all got any more questions for Dante? Because I think we do got time, man. Dante got time to do this, to do a mock draft with me, man. See what the Vikings actually can fill some, some needs. So I do want to talk to you about this because I got a guy that just got committed to Ohio State, friend of the family, my sister's best friend. This is his son. This is her son. His name is Kari Wilder. He's from out of California, from Sarah, and he plays defensive end, a little bit on defensive line, and he just
is he a high school guy?
He's gonna be in college next year.
Okay.
Next year.
Yeah, make sure to send me his name and everything, bro.
Okay.
I want to check out his huddle tape for sure.
Okay.
That's another thing I do on the side. Like a lot of kids will reach out to me. Like my DMs are full of high school kids that just like want a coach to watch their film. So I used to be a former offensive coordinator, and that's what I do on the side free for these kids, because I see a lot of people charging them to like just give them feedback on their tape, and I try to help them like build out their their social media profiles and everything to get more eyes from coaches and things like that. So yeah, I definitely, if he needs any help with anything, I can definitely put him in the right direction. A couple of guys I help get a couple offers from schools and things like that.
That's what's up. Yeah,
I got a kid that's going to Syracuse here pretty soon. So
okay, y'all. So I think the questions are done. I was just checking something on the phone. All right, Dante. So let's do a scenario. Let's do a scenario for a mock draft. All right. You the scout guy. I'll play GM, and I'm gonna listen to you on what we should do. Let me bring it up on this end. We'll end it with that, because so we can see if we can actually fix the Minnesota Vikings going forward. I hope so. If we do, I'm available, Minnesota. I mean, I'm available, man. Y'all can hire me. I'm not gonna ask for much. I am not gonna ask for much. Just hire me, okay? Let me make sure I'm signed in and everything. Yep, there we go. All right. Oh, let me see. Any more questions? Okay, I'll let you deal with this while I get this one up. You say they got a cousin transferred to Wisconsin
from App State. That's a great move. That is a progressive move. So that's good for him. That means that he's good. Going from App State to Wisconsin. What's his name, AJ? I love to watch his huddle tape too, man.
Yeah, what's his name, AJ? Put the name in the chat. All right, so here we go.
I think Chance, he said something about Katie McDonald. I like Katie McDonald. I'm not as high on him as other people. I mean, I think
we never talked about defensive tackles.
Yeah,
We never talked about interior D line. So who your top guys there?
I'm friends with Caleb Banks from knowing him. Like he came through. It's kind of funny how I met Caleb Banks. Caleb Banks, we did a live film. You know how we do live film studies. He came through in a live film study, and he was like, "This was back in like January when I was starting to grind tape." And he was one of the very first draft guides I did, and I was like, "Caleb, I'm gonna tell you that like I think you're gonna get picked up in the second round, but you're a first round talent in my books. I just think that's the way." And he was like, "Yo, I appreciate that." Blah blah blah. Met him out at the Senior Bowl. Super nice guy. Met him at the combine, things like that. So I've been keeping up with him. I'm not saying this just because he's a friend of the show, but like Caleb Banks is going to be a difference maker, man. I hate that he broke his foot, at the combine, but I'm hearing from him that like everything's good. Like,
Okay.
no need to worry. He's on a good path of recovery and things like that. A lot of people freak out when they see big guys that break their foot,
Yeah.
and I get that. But he rushed. He didn't rush back. He actually played 3 games at the end of the season after breaking his foot early in the year. So it's not like he can't heal from this. It's one of those things where people don't know. Like they send out brand new cleats, and these guys don't even break them in from the school. So when they get out at the combine and stuff, it's like sometimes they're not broken in, and it just freak shit happens. So I love Caleb Banks, Lee Hunter, man. Me and my boy, Big Dash, right?
Yeah.
So me and Big Dash call Lee Hunter the barbecue pitmaster. So I think he's a great player. I'm starting to get hip on Grayson Halton even more every single day. His tape is amazing out of Oklahoma. Daryl Jackson Jr. from Florida State. If you can't get Caleb Banks, he's the next Caleb Banks. I'm gonna tell you the crazy shit about Daryl Jackson Jr. at the Senior Bowl, right? And I'm a Florida State guy, so I got to watch this dude cook for years. The one thing about Daryl Jackson Jr., he's like a serial killer, bro. You don't see him conversating with his teammates or anything like that. He just goes out there and does work. And he's super athletic and like super in shape for being 337 pounds, bro.
Yeah.
The dude doesn't have a gut. So like if you're a big dude and you want fitness goals, look at Daryl Jackson Jr., bro. Because like things are achievable at that weight. And then there's a guy out of southeastern Louisiana that I've been grinding some tape on. Any tape that you can find on Caleb Proctor, man.
Okay.
I know he played at a small school, but he's 21 and he's an amazing player, man. His game against LSU, which is the biggest team they played last year, was great. And then just like some underground favorites like Tim Keenan. Like if you want a zero tech, like a true nose guard that's like gonna plug a gap and just do his job, Tim Keenan from Alabama is fun to watch. And then like a 3 technique who's not gonna get a lot of love till probably day 3, Zane Durant from Penn State. He even cut his dreadlocks off because he wanted to be faster at the combine. So the dude's dedicated.
Hey, that's
he's dedicated to football, bro.
Yeah.
I think he ran the fastest 40 out of all the D linemen, but like he's one of those dudes that's like built from top to bottom like a brick house, bro. Like I mean, I wouldn't want to go 1-to-1 with him like on a rep. He's a smaller guy though. He's 6'1", 287, but he looks every bit of 300 pounds, like running through your face. But yeah, I now see Dante Corleone. I'm not a big fan of his. Dominic Orange has like the worst tape out of all the defensive tackles. I don't understand why people are so high on him. He gets beat more than he wins. I think people just like his size at 6'4", 325, and they call him Big Citrus, which is a cool nickname.
Yeah, that's a
but
cool
that doesn't
nickname.
Doesn't mean that you're gonna be shitting in the NFL though. So
Big Citrus. I think that's what Thor. I heard that from Thor a couple of times saying, Big Citrus. So yeah. Yeah. So all right, Dante. So let's get into this to this mock draft real quick. Let me bring it back up. There we go. Boom. All right. Take that off so we can see more of it. All right, so we can just gonna go super fast. You want to do some trades? Because I mean, I like trading down because I still think the Vikings need to get a running back, but we didn't talk about that. But I do think they need to get a running back.
Yeah, however you want to do it. I usually don't do trades in my mock drafts because it's just so hard to predict unless they're just obvious. But however you want to do it, man, I'm cool with whatever.
Okay, let's go. Let's start it. Well, we see the first name off the board. No surprise. All right, so Dante, you talked about tackle. You got the tackle right here. You got Jermon McCoy, edge rusher, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. And you even got, Evian Terrell. Like the Vikings are at 18 right now. They got 10 trades. They got 10 people that want to trade up. 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 34. I mean, what would you do here, Dante, if you was a lead scout for the Minnesota Vikings and we sitting right here? What would you do?
Yeah, I honestly, if go back to draft player, there's one dude that I feel really highly on, Monroe Freeland. I think he's probably the best tackle in this class, and you can plug him in right tackle or left tackle. Because one thing I look for, you want to know how crazy my analysis get, and people thought I was crazy. Remember when Joe Alt came out and got drafted to the Chargers?
Yeah,
I said on the tape when I watched it live, I said that dude's gonna play right tackle in the NFL because his left hand is not as strong at the anchor point. I don't see him being a left tackle. His first year, he was a right tackle. The only reason he played left tackle is Rashawn Slater got hurt this year, but like he's better now. But that's how deep the analysis gets. I feel like Monroe Freeling, left hand, right hand strong, both of them. He's great. Like wherever he goes, he's going to be dominant. Okay. I don't think we're going to pick him here. And you know how I feel about getting depth at tackle. Yeah. There's one guy here that I'm like, if he's there, you can't pass on. Jermon McCoy is the best cornerback in this draft.
Hey, I'm sold.
You have to get him. Like there's no question. If he's on the board, you got to go get Jermon McCoy.
We got Shaq right here. Shaq said the same thing. He said, "Go with McCoy." Okay, we can go with McCoy right here. We can go. I'm cool with that. Like they only got 3 corners right now.
I'm gonna explain the type of shit that McCoy does. You ever play Madden and you beat your homeboy so bad that like he just starts throwing 9 routes and your corner's like you, and then you turn your corner around and just jump up and intercept the ball? This is Jermon McCoy does that on tape, bro. It's crazy.
Okay.
He's like faster than the receiver, and then he'll slow down and just turn around, just pick it off. Like, bro, you're not getting this ball.
And he had an injury this year too, right? He missed the whole season, right?
He tore his ACL at the beginning of the season, didn't play all year. Shout out to Colton Hood and the rest of those guys on Tennessee. They played amazing while he was out. I'll never slight those guys. Actually, that's another miss for Coach Prime on Colorado, because Colton Hood transferred to Tennessee and went absolutely ape shit, by the way.
Yeah.
He just we could talk about that another day.
Yeah. But, we do need to talk about that a little bit later. I think
I was right about that shit from the very beginning. But Jermon McCoy got hurt, and then at his pro day ran into 4 threes, bro. Because I wasn't even drafting him in the first round. I was drafting him in the second because I'm like, man, when we were at the combine and doing media, we were hearing that like he had said that like, yeah, my knee's fine. I should be able to run today. And then like an hour later, they said that his knee's not good and that he's not going to run. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like Jermon was saying that he was all good. And then the medicals come back and they're like, no, he's not good. So then when he did that shit at the pro day, I was like, yeah, he's back in the first round. He's a can't miss. Okay. He's healthy. Nobody runs a 4-3 off a bum ACL, bro. Like,
so we going with McCoy. I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do in the second round.
Yeah, McCoy wasn't playing in the middle of the season. He wasn't even healthy. Yeah, he wasn't healthy.
All right. Man. So we here in the second round right now. This is the pickings, and we got no trades available, which is cool because we can just stick and pick right here.
Yeah, I think your second round pick is important. We can worry about trading out. Go to safety real quick.
Yeah, I already see a guy I like right there. So there you go to safety.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I think AJ Halsey's the 3rd best safety in this class. I think if he's there, you don't wait. You just go ahead and pick him up and just see how he does in Brian Flores' system. But I think he's the third best safety in the class. I'd say draft AJ Halsey right here.
Okay, cool. I like that too. Now the secondary's got a lot younger. There we go. 82 coming up.
And think about it, like everybody's been complaining about secondary for you guys for years, and we just fixed it. We just fixed it in the first 2 rounds.
We just fixed it for a year. So here's our first pick in the third round at 82. We do need a center. Secondary is kind of solidified right now. Running backs are available. What would you do here?
Let's look for some trades now, because I think this is the round where we're looking to trade back, because it's really thick at each position right now.
Okay.
That we can still get some draft picks in and build our team around. So let's see.
We got the Eagles and the Falcons. I mean, the Eagles, I can do with the Eagles. For the 98, right? And the 82, of course they take that. So they got to give us a little bit more. Will we take that 114 or we take the 137? They do the 114 too. Gladly do that. So that means they had something else. No, they won't do that. How about that, Dante? How about that one? For the 82, we get the 98.
I like that.
In the 197.
Yeah, because it's only one spot back from our 196 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm okay with that trade.
They said cool. All right.
They gave up a lot for that one.
Let's see who they pick.
Yeah.
Kamari Ramsey.
We're okay with that because we already picked a safety.
Yeah, we already picked the safety already. So
now look at this. Round 3 going into go to running back.
Yes. I don't want Jonah Coleman. I think he's too slow. How do you feel about Coleman?
Jonah Coleman's in our top 5, but he's not.
He's not top
below
3.
Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson is the pick right here.
Okay, Emmett Johnson.
Emmett Johnson's a game changer.
Okay. Emmett Johnson, it is.
And then go to tackle.
We right back on the board again. Boom.
Oh, Demetrius Crownover is there. Take him.
Taking him tackle. There we go. And we're going to be back on the board again. Fast. There we go.
Oh, man.
What should we do here? Linebacker, tight end.
Let's go interior defensive lineman. I think this is really where we need to focus on this. And
there we go.
All right. Scroll down a little bit. I think I'm okay with who I'm gonna pick here, but I just want to see. We might be able to double dip here, but all right. Scroll up, and we're going to select Landon Robinson from Navy.
Okay.
He gets a lot of comparisons to what's his name? They used to play for the Rams. Why am I drawing to Aaron Donald? He gets a lot of and he trains with Aaron Donald. So there you go. Okay, Landon Robinson coming off the board right here.
And we'll be back on the board quick at the 163.
And then I want to check out the center position now.
Okay.
Because if I remember right, my boy should have fell here. So interior O-line.
There we go.
Pat Coogan's on the board too.
This is a good spot for a center right now too.
It is. Yeah, I say let's go with the national championship winner, Pat Coogan, that transferred from Notre Dame. And
there we go.
I think he was a 5-star recruit when he was in high school. Dang, this draft couldn't have went any better. Like all these names just fell.
Well, we got 2 picks back to back right now.
All right, so here's what I want to look at tight end. There should be a lot of tight ends on the board. We got to put pressure on homie.
There we go.
Hannah Krazoil right there is
right there too. Yeah.
I don't know if Oscar Delp is going to help because
Who would push him? Who will push him the most? Because I mean, he just restricted his contract too, so he might not be back next year.
actually pick Oscar Delp here. And the reason why I say that is because TJ Parkinson was known to be some of the best two-way tight ends in the league and at blocking and receiving.
Oscar Delp from Georgia?
Oscar Delp, yep. Because if you want to get mini Brock Bowers, that could be his ceiling right there.
Okay. So now we at the 197. What should we do here?
I think you should get another running back.
This is my kind of draft. Run a running back room. You think Nick Singleton is still available? Probably not. No, he's not.
Nah. Scroll down and see. Let's see who's here. Robert Henry's good too. Roman Hemby. Rasul Faison, he's one of my favorites. I'm trying to think who would fit in here. Okay, scroll back up. I think we're
Mason
good.
only has 1 year left on his contract, and Aaron Jones is back for 1 year also. We already got we got Emmett Johnson, right? We already got Emmett Johnson solidified already there. So
yeah,
this would be a depth position for next year because it'd be Emmett Johnson and whoever picks is right here to be the running back room for next season.
Yeah, I think Robert Henry Jr. makes a lot of sense here. A guy that broke Barry Sanders' record in college for the most 70-yard plus runs in a game consistently.
Okay. So he's explosive, basically.
He's a very fast guy. You're not catching him. And you can help out your special teams by putting him there too.
Okay.
Until he gets, gets up there. But I don't think you pass a talent like him up. Like if he's there at 197, you definitely pick him.
You take him. We got people saying to get Eli Heinrich. We can get him later. He'll probably be there next time. So let's go at the other running back. Cool.
If you guys had this draft, I'd be like, man, the Vikings fucking cooked.
Back on the board, and we got another time. We got two back-to-back again.
All right. So I want to look. I'm gonna double dip at linebacker here.
Okay.
Because I think that's important. You're gonna bring these two guys in to be competition with each other and try to solidify that spot.
So two linebackers back.
Yep. So give me Lander Barton.
Okay.
And then go back to linebacker. I'm really interested in Scooby Williams though, because I think he could be really good. Scroll down. I want to see if this name is still there. Eric Gentry is just too high risk, high reward. He looks like a wounded duck sometimes when he plays. Yeah, give me Scooby Williams, man. I think he's just way too talented of a guy to be here on this board right here. I would have thought he would have got chosen earlier in like the 5th round or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, Scooby Williams from Texas A&M.
All right, for this last pick, Dante, this is what I want you to do. I'm the GM right now. This is what I want you to do. Give me a quarterback.
I was just about to say that, bro. Oh my God, you're on the same wavelength as me. Yes, go quarterback here.
Give me a quarterback. Whoever you want, give me a quarterback. Just
scroll down. Oh my God, there's so many good ones here. Wow, there's so many good ones that you can build around. I mean, if it was me, I'm not picking them here, but Kyron Jones just to me is like he could be a guy for the future for sure.
Who the quarterback exactly? Who can come in here, sit down for a little bit. Basically, we can take Max Brosmer off the team. He'd be the third string quarterback going forward.
Oh, don't even give me Tommy Castellanos. I'm a Florida State fan. That dude is fucking garbage, man. I'm sorry. He's so trash. And he just talks shit. So I got to think about the quarterback room that we have right now with Kyler Murray, right? And JJ McCarthy. And so the archetype that we're going to have here is two athletic quarterbacks, right? Because JJ can run, Kyler can run. He beat Bama though, Well, Bama, this is the worst Bama, the worst Bama team that we've seen. You realize they were ranked 126 out of 134 schools this year in rushing. That has never happened since like 2002, bro.
Never happened under Saban, so Saban's not there anymore.
Nah, this is a really bad Bama team. I think with the talent level of this dude, he's got the height, he's got the speed, he's got the arm, and if you want to change a pace guy that's like meshing Kyler and JJ together,
Okay,
it's Taylor Green. You got to take Taylor Green here.
All right, cool with me.
I love Jalen Daniels, but I think you're just bringing another short guy in that's just like the other two. But Taylor Green looks like an NFL quarterback.
So let's see what our results look like. The grades, I don't really care about the grades. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we can just look. They gave us a B minus. So this is who we got. We got Jamal McCoy in the first, AJ Halsey in the second, Emmett Johnson in the third, and then we did a trade where we basically fleeced. We fleeced the Eagles.
How we got fleeced by me? Hire me.
And we got the tackle, interior D line, center, Pat Coogan. Okay, I like the center's position right there in the 5th round. That's cool with me. And we double dipped that running back and Robert Henry Jr. Then we got 2 linebackers back to back, and then we got the quarterback too. I like it. Like, I'm cool with that. How y'all feel in the chat? Y'all cool with that? Like, that's cool with me. I'm gonna save this one and see if the Vikings can mirror this. See if they watched our video. You know, it's like,
yeah,
these guys got it right.
I honestly am surprised that that this draft fell. I mean, the Jamal McCoy pick, that should be an S+. Like, if Jamal McCoy falls at 18 and you guys pick him up, I'll be like, man, that's chef's kiss right there. Everything else is just extra.
Yeah.
But the way that these players fell, Emmett Johnson came in for a top 30 for you guys. Oscar Delp did too. So, like, you already knock out 2 players that the Vikings really like. I think Emmett Johnson's from Minnesota, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So,
I think so. Yeah, they gave us a D on the Emmett Johnson because they got Jonah Coleman. They said he was a better prospect right here, but I don't really care about that. Like, I'm cool on Jonah Coleman. He's not bad, but I think, like, we need some explosion. We need some wiggle in that running back room. And if he kind of reminds me a lot of what we already have in
and he's injury prone.
Yeah, so it's like
you have Emmett Johnson who's going to be able to take a lot of hits and stay healthy. So that's important for you guys. You guys need a healthy running back.
we do. We do. So I like that draft. So yeah, that's cool. And we're gonna get out of here, Dante. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really wanted to do this with you because it gives me a different perspective on how the draft looks, and especially like with the content on my channel, is let people who follow the channel see, bringing somebody on like that has a more expertise with the draft and can talk about some of the inner workings that's not always talked about. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on, man. And whenever you need me to come on there, for you, I got you.
Yeah, man. I want to do something where it's like almost like around the horn. I've been throwing this idea around in my Discord where it's like I bring a couple people on and you're not a Viking, you're not going to be a Vikings fan, but you're going to represent the whole division as a whole. And you're going to fight for your division. And so we'll knock it out like the NFC. We'll have 4 people to represent the NFC, and then I'll have another live where it's 4 people that represent the AFC, and then we'll see who the winners are, and then we'll come together like on the Final Four, pick 2 from the AFC and 2 from the NFC, and then do something like that where we kind of battle it out. So it's, not only we get to see, like, you should know your opponents better than anybody, right? So, like, it's really going to test everybody's knowledge. And, having me who I talk about every single team, it's like, my knowledge is already there with a lot of teams. But I think that would be, I mean, I would definitely pick you to represent the NFC North. So, but yeah, we'll have to talk behind the scenes and see if we get that going.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll come into lives and watch you talk about the Vikings, and a lot of other people just don't be making sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
man.
like D Woods is whipping their ass right now. Let's build the
You
ass.
wild sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I gotta tone this down, man. I gotta start.
Well, even if I don't agree with you, you make really good points, and I think that's very important from like an unbiased like standpoint. It's like you do get really passionate, but also it's like I know where your frustration comes from because people just don't listen.
Yeah, they don't listen.
Like you get they're like in their box like this, and you're like, guys, I'm trying to get you guys to think outside the box, and you're like, you're not taking the right exit off the road. Like, so I'm there with you, but I like your frame of thinking, even if I disagree, which I think is important. So, and I'm trying to find other people that are like that. Like, I don't always have to agree with what you say, but if you make a good point that make me say, think back and like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I might not agree with it, but that's a very good point.
Yeah,
that makes a good show, like in Around the Horn and stuff. Because
right.
it's like I would still give you the 2 points, even though if I don't agree with you. Like, okay, yeah, you really can't combat that. That shit is an excellent point. So we'll see what happens, man, behind the scenes for sure. But that's kind of like where my brain is going right now.
Okay, cool. So let's get out of here, man. Thank you again, Dante. Much appreciated,
for sure,
man. So everybody, Dante put his link in the chat if you haven't subscribed already. So we out of here, man. Thanks again.